everybody. Welcome to episode 1003 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined today by James Dean Rader. To my right, to my left, Tyler Meisinger, and to the way left, all the way out in California, a proper salute from Tyler, Ben Funky Askren. He has fled the state of Wisconsin, and now he's in California. I heard you're looking to relocate and you want to move to California. Can you confirm?
I would never move to California, ever.
Oh, okay, so those rumors are not true.
Not true whatsoever.
There's no AWA SoCal incoming.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm not moving here.
Okay.
Where in California are you right now, Ben?
Where am I? That's a great question. I'm right by Santa Ana Airport.
Oh, wow.
I flew in. I went to my hotel. I went to sleep. It was like 2 miles from Santa Ana Airport.
You're probably in like Irvine, huh? That's my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh, baby.
He used to live in
Tell
the
me
airport.
all the spots.
That's right. I used to live in the airport.
Yeah. It was a nice place. Okay, so Ben's here. He made the walk. He's not feeling good, but he's still here. I appreciate that, Ben. I'm not feeling great either, but you know what? We're persevering, and podcasting is not for the faint of heart. But I want to start with, we have plenty to get to. We're going to talk about Missouri, that whole thing. We're going to talk about Iowa, Oklahoma State. I think the biggest news story of the weekend is the events that unfolded with Carter Starocci at the end of his match against Edinburgh, where if you haven't seen it, it's on Twitter, it's on BTN Plus, you can find it. Just type Carter Starocci. Carter is working for the tech fall. He gets the tech fall. The guy kind of goes to his belly, and then Carter sort of continues to wrestle through because he wants to get the pin, and he ends up stepping over and ends up in an awkward position, and he gets hurt, and seemingly his knee is hurt bad. He had to be helped off the mat. He kind of fell back. He looked to be in considerable pain, and so now it's February 26th, and Carter's got 2 weeks for Big Tens, and then basically a little less than a month before NCAAs, and it's Carter watch. That's going to be the main discussion. It's the guy going for his 4th NCAA title, and now after this win, it's called into question. Hey, how available is he, and how bad is the injury? Ben, what were your thoughts watching that unfold?
Yeah. Well, he's going to wrestle no matter what. I think that would be a good guess for him. That specific situation is where a lot of people get hurt. It's a jiu-jitsu 50-50 position where the legs are intertwined, and the foot gets kind of bent up from the knee. Man, I've seen those where you're out a couple days, and I've seen those where you're out 6 months. So there's kind of a wide swath of injuries that can happen from that thing. So I actually don't know. I have no predictions on how bad his is going to be. Would
you say that but the reactions are pretty similar? 'Cause you said you've seen kind of both in terms of how long they're out. Yeah. But would you say the reaction, like we saw with Carter, where he's pretty immobilized, is comparable for both?
Yeah, I think it's always like really scary when and I don't know, maybe I don't know that he hasn't done it before, but I know the first time you do it, you're like, oh my God, I just blew up my knee. I'm so screwed. So I know the first time I did that, it was like, I think I was out for like 3 weeks, but I kind of thought like, oh my God, I just blew up my knee. I'm out for 6 months. It was like 3 weeks. It wasn't fun, but it wasn't the worst. And then I've had a couple times where it was like 3 days, where it'd be hurt and then I'd be back. And I had one that was like 5 or 6 weeks. I've never had one that was really, really bad. But obviously like Peyton Mako hurt his knee like that. Maybe freshman year, he was out 6 months.
Dang. So,
yeah,
this is not uncharted territory for Penn State. They dealt with something sort of similar with Nolf back in 2018. I think it was 18. Yep. He had the Van Brill injury in a match. He was dominating there, and he had an injury default. That happened January 28th, because I went back and looked that up. That was so considerably more time to recover for Nolf in that situation. This is considerably less. That's obviously a factor. And Nolf, as you recall, if you recall, he ended up doing the injury default thing. I think he took the
the double podium spot at Big Tens.
Yeah, I think he actually wrestled. He didn't do the Nick Suriano thing where he literally just 1 second injury default and medically forfeited out. I think he wrestled a match and then forfeited out.
Wasn't it him and Kemmer on 6th place stand together? So maybe he made the semis.
Yes, a classic, iconic picture. Two iconic.
Then with the Suriano, we also got the classic. He's down in the room wrestling right now.
Yeah, so we'll see. You know, we're not going to get, and, you know, understandably not get much information about this. But I'm with Ben. You know, I saw some people, you know, say, hey, do they use Bear Claw? Do they? Yeah, man, I think you got it.
Carter's going.
You got to go with Carter. And
yes.
I think unless he says, I literally can't, I think he's going to try. What is, you know, and it's so speculative right now, like thinking this far ahead. But, you know, there's a guy that wants to make the Olympic team. Does this jeopardize trials in some way? How does this impact his decision to come back or not come back next year if he doesn't do well? Or, you know, there's a lot of variables and there's so much unknown. But that's where my mind went. Like, well, could he come back next year now if he doesn't do well, doesn't get his fourth, and he wants to come back and get that? I don't know. But obviously everyone wants as many healthy wrestlers as possible at the NCAA tournament. I hope we see that with Carter. And crazy.
I would be shocked if he didn't choose to wrestle.
You would be shocked if he didn't choose to wrestle?
Yes.
Yeah, I would.
I'll get Taze if he doesn't wrestle.
I would almost say sign me up for that, but I just don't. I have no interest in getting Taze, so why risk it? I don't even have to make the suggestion. But I think I'm with you. I think he tries it, and I think it'll be a really. Yes. It could go down as a really exciting storyline going into maybe not Big Tens, but the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. And Christian, you keep saying Olympic. He's going to try out for the Olympics, but there's no indications that he can make 74 kilograms.
I know. Other than he says he's going to, so I don't know. I find him to be very.
I just don't believe it.
Yeah, I know. We've talked at length that it seems like it's gonna be really hard for him, but it's still an aspiration he is given. So
yes.
I think he's earned the benefit of the doubt that.
Yeah.
For that. So yeah, what's also crazy about this is, man, I mean, there's so much, the senselessness of the situation. You know, you're not it's a throwaway match. It's a throwaway duel. You already have the tech. The ref technically, the kid rolls through to his belly. The ref could have stopped it before, but they let it continue, and that's when the. You know, it's a little bit, you know, he obviously wants to go out with a pin, but once that guy kind of bellies down, you're out of near fall criteria and you can stop it. And he didn't stop it, and who knows what that non-stoppage maybe stopped. So we'll see. We won't know. I'm certain we won't know much until even Big Tens. And even at Big Tens, we could say, you know, they could say, listen, we can buy him 2 more weeks of recovery just by doing the injury default thing. And like the other thing is the seeding consideration. He'll get hit in the seeds if he does that. They adjusted the rules so that you can't forfeit out of conferences without penalty. So he'll take a genuine loss there, and it'll hurt his seed because Mackay is still undefeated now. Even though we all saw that match, they don't count it. So if it doesn't count, it doesn't count. So,
yes,
a lot of variables, a lot of unknowns.
That's an interesting discussion. How hard do you hurt him?
What?
Carter is. Say he wins one match at Big Tens or just completely injury defaults. Mm-hmm. Will clearly get at large. How far do you drop him?
I don't think he goes too far. I think he would go behind. I think he would go behind Mackay. I think he would go behind DeVos maybe, and he could be like
he's only 12-0 though. So is he going to get an auto qualifier?
I think so. 12
I thought he'd have 15.
That's what I'm saying. He'll at least get in that large though.
Do you have to have 15 to get in that large?
I don't think so. No, I don't think you do.
You have to get 15 to get the
allocation.
Yes, the allocation
for your conference, but you can still get in the tournament at 12-0, 12-1, whatever it'll be.
Carter did win nationals with a broken hand.
He did.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle won the Olympics with a broken freaking neck.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Data. Okay, so get well soon, Carter. We'll keep you abreast of any news or information about that. All right, let's move on. Unless anyone else has anything else. Okay.
No.
No longer next
Nothing.
topic. Wait. Now it's interesting.
It is interesting. That's such a caveat now.
Does Iowa think about putting Gabe Arnold in at 174?
No, look. Did you see how good Patrick Kennedy looked?
He looked
He looked awesome.
Good.
He looked awesome. You don't mess with that at all. At all. Gabe Arnold's your best 184 pounder. Anyway. Also, he weighed in at 183. I don't even know if he could be down by Big Tens.
Probably not.
He weighed at 183.0. So let's talk about Iowa, Oklahoma State. And it's interesting because, Iowa, they had a really impressive win. No doubt about it. But this is it's almost like it was Iowa's turn, but it was also Oklahoma State's turn. They've been undefeated all year. Every single team has taken losses and wins, and it's all jumbled up. And I throw out all the Penn State losses because it's immaterial to this discussion. But Iowa has the Michigan loss, right, which looks bad, but not really. They beat Oklahoma State and Nebraska, which are great wins. Iowa's lost to Nebraska, lost to Iowa, beat Michigan, NC State. Iowa State lost to Oklahoma State and Iowa. They beat Cornell, Missouri, Arizona State. NC State lost to Oklahoma State, but they beat Nebraska, on and on and on. And, of course, Oklahoma State loses to Iowa, but they beat Iowa State, NC State, Missouri, Arizona State. And Michigan lost to Ohio State, Nebraska, and South Dakota State, but they beat Iowa.
I don't remember any of those duels.
You know what?
You don't remember the Iowa duel?
I remember the Iowa one.
Oh, okay. Got it.
The losses, he's saying.
Yeah, he doesn't remember the losses. Short memory. He's like a quarterback.
Yeah.
So that's just that's what we've been talking about with this team race all year long. Is all these teams, it's matchups, it's vibes, it's where you're at in your training. And so, but I'll also say, this is kind of exactly how JD said the duel was going to play out. He's basically said, hey, all the toss-ups are edge Iowa, and that's basically exactly how it played out to a T. Yeah, literally to a T.
I actually thought, Christian, I thought they went further Iowa's way than expected.
In which?
Well, say Franek, Caliendo, Kennedy, those weren't really all that close.
So, yeah, for sure. I would agree with that. Yeah. Franek, I watched his first takedown 4 times. That was insane. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
I thought in those 3 weights, Iowa looked really good. I thought 25, that was not an encouraging performance by either guy, in my opinion. They're not attacking. Drake Ayala does not shoot a single leg anymore. I'm still highly concerned about how well he can do long term. He got the win. I don't think that was a pin. But he got it done against Spratley, who's tough.
Oh, in overtime? I don't know, bro. That might have been a pin.
No, they showed the replay from another angle, and it didn't look like the one shoulder was ever down.
All right, it was close.
The first angle, I was slap the mat. But then Dayton looked kind of, he got tired at the end of that match against Brody Teske. Because I remember at the beginning of the third, I said to Caleb, I was like, bro, it feels like Brody almost has to get a takedown to avoid the major. He's not going to be able to hold Dayton off for 2 minutes straight on his feet.
Yeah.
And then at some point the tide turned and Dayton was tired and wasn't able to score again. So he looked good. I thought Real looked good. Voinovich, he can get in so deep, but just has a hard time finishing.
So Ratchy's going to be the guy for Big Ten, though, right?
Yeah, I think it was just giving him a little time off after the Zargo thing. Ben's letting room service in. He's getting his caviar delivered. See, it's just.
I had to get my other cup of coffee.
Christian,
yo,
do you know you are 1 for 5 on picks for the Oklahoma State Iowa duel?
I do know that.
It was bad.
But you know what? I did. I was sometimes because I think all the ones I missed were on like Oklahoma State leans. Is that correct?
Yeah, you were Oklahoma State heavy.
So I was just kind of like feeling. I was just kind of going with the whole team thing. So it was kind of an all or nothing type of deal.
Kind of came in.
Except Arnold. You missed
Except Arnold, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't pick him to win, right? I just picked him to cover.
No, it was Plot. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, that missed. But then I was also counting on Missouri participating this weekend because I thought I was gonna get some of them back. But the Tigers, well, some of them, just none of the ones we know and love, were available this weekend. So that harmed me a lot in the pick'em category. And I think we should hold Ben responsible in the picks for that. But we'll get to them. Their times.
I don't know. I bear any responsibility. Yeah, I don't know what excuse to make for them. I guess they've been really sick this year. It's kind of an issue. Hopefully they get over it and they're good for Big 12s and nationals. But I have no idea. They just maybe sanitize the room better or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It is weird because I feel as though. Well, I've never seen anything like this, first of all.
I know my senior year, we had an illness like this. I told you about this. We had an illness. And it was like literally one day there was 7 people at practice out of 40, right? And I think we forfeited 5 weight classes, and I think I might have been the only starter to wrestle because it was senior night. And I said, like, I don't care. I'm going to go out there, even though I'm really sick. It's not a big deal. But that was the time I can remember. But I can't remember anything else like this.
So it happens to Missouri. I've never heard of it happening to another team where the entire team is sick.
Well, like Arizona State didn't bring almost anyone to that duel when they wrestled Mizzou earlier this year.
Is that because they were sick?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like at least Brian Smith went out and said it. He put it out there Thursday.
I appreciate that. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
But I do feel like illness has been more of a thing this year than I remember. At least I tweeted that, like, at least we're more aware of it because I think maybe in years past it's just like, yeah, he wasn't available. Now they're just like, no, he's sick. Carter was sick. Nagel was sick. Drake flew.
Yeah.
Right. Real. Well, was he sick?
Well, that's what people were saying.
Yeah, I don't think he was sick. But anyway, totally strange. I guess. Do you want to talk about Missouri? Or
Not really.
People are saying Brian Smith orchestrated this entire thing just so Keegan didn't have to wrestle Carr. That he decided to sit out half of his lineup and throw these 2 duels.
50%. That'll be quite the orchestration.
Yeah, so that makes no sense to me whatsoever. But man, it's 2 things can be true. It is totally unprecedented to have like an entire weekend like this, but also there's no scenario that they're ducking, in my opinion, at least. But
I don't see the argument on how it's going to benefit them, but maybe you guys could provide me with one.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, Keegan is the clear number 1, but he can't do this at conferences, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, of course. Doesn't matter. They're going to wrestle anyways.
Yeah, so that was obviously really disappointing. Everyone was really excited for that match, and no one makes the walk. And someone asked, I think there was a question about this, like, how can you have so much illness now, but miraculously everyone's healthy in March? Well, I don't think they are. They just refuse to miss.
Yeah.
They'll just wrestle sick because it's NCAAs, and it's either compete or your season's over. And
it's like I was saying, Carter's probably going to wrestle.
Yeah.
But
yes,
if it was a duel, obviously he wouldn't.
Exactly
yes,
right. It's been kind of a weird year for Carter because he's been sick for like what sounds like a month, according to that story on our freelancers with Travis Johnson, and then he hurts his knee. So kind of strange.
I found the question that you said. It says, how do wrestlers magically avoid contagious illnesses in March but can't dodge them in November, December, January, and February?
Yeah.
And I think because people show up in March because they have to. Like everything else in the other months doesn't matter. Like truthfully.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's an easy answer.
What's the sickest you ever competed, Tyler?
I
get sick.
In high school, I won a league title with the flu.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jordan, basically.
Michael Jordan. It was the first time I ever took Dayquil.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I was
That's
like,
actually
this stuff's
illegal.
great. Is it?
Yeah, you can't do that.
Well, erase that.
There's now an asterisk for your league title. How many times did you win the league?
I think like 2 or 3 times.
Well,
I was a late. I didn't
like
start
1 or 2
wrestling
times
until 8th grade.
Wow.
I don't know if you knew that.
I did know that. Because you bring it up all the time so that I'll say, wow, you got so good. I imagine if you started earlier, Tyler, think how great you would be. Wow. Imagine if Will Lewan wasn't there at 57, you'd have been the All-American. I know.
Yeah, I would have been an All-American. I would have been a national champ probably.
You probably would have won. Honestly,
there's no way to know for sure. 2020.
For sure.
I don't know what was going to happen in 2020 NCAAs, but I know out of that pigtail win, Tyler Meisinger is getting the first takedown against Alex Marinelli. Now, what happens after that? I don't know. Because Marinelli knows about those pigtail scares because he had JoJo Smith, I think, the year prior in the after pigtail
in the first round.
He gave up the first like 2 or 3 takedowns.
And I'm a comparable opponent.
Yes, you are the JoJo Smith of
2020.
Michigan.
Yes.
And Michigan.
And Michigan.
Indeed. Okay, so yeah, huge bummer. I thought I had more thoughts on the Missouri.
We only talked about 25 and 33 on Oklahoma State.
Yeah. Why don't y'all go? I'll stop.
Okay. 41. Real Woods wins a controlled match, but it's kind of close. So many of the Oklahoma State guys are Spratley, Jameson, Williams, Olejnik. They're so good with like a leg up in the air, chin whizzer, splits type position that they make it really tough to score in them.
Sometimes, like John Smith said, they just fall over like a building.
Dude, that was. Did you hear his mid-match interview, Ben?
No,
it's incredible. He was so fired up. So
peak John.
It was great. He was just so fired up after them losing because they were losing. He's like, they're falling down the simile didn't come to him, so he said, built like a building. And then Tom Brands gets asked. Both these coaches really. He's like, what? Shane asks, what did you like about your 3 guys that got wins in the first 5 matches? He goes, I like that Michael Caliendo's about to wrestle. It's like, what happened? What did you like about the 3 guys that wrestled? Well, about those 3 guys, I like that Michael Caliendo's about to wrestle. So I don't know which response.
He kind of always does that, I feel like.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
On his Belichick.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's not going to.
On to Cincinnati.
Yeah. He's on to the next thing is Michael Caliendo. That's where his head was at.
And Michael Caliendo looked really, really good.
He looked really good. He looked slick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Olenek now kind of been coming back down to earth. Now, the Caliendo loss isn't really necessarily evidence of that because he lost to him last year. But he has the Hall loss, and now it's like maybe a little returning to the
Keegan Carr, that's 4 losses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, 65 is nasty. He's going to be a dogfight to place again this year.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Ben, on Oklahoma State as a potential 2nd or 3rd place team after this performance? Does it change?
I think I kind of was on the record saying it's going to be tough for them because they don't have very many guys who are really, really high up there. Like Dayton and Dustin Plotter, probably the guys that you could see placing top 3. And I think they have a hard time getting anyone else in the top 3. They could sneak a bunch in like 6, 7, 8, but unfortunately that doesn't get you enough points in NCAAs. You're going to need probably 3 or 4 top 3, 4 guys.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think they should do at heavy? What do you think Iowa should do at heavyweight? They used Ben Keeter. Keeter got the win over Doucette.
Yeah. I mean, he's not great, but to your point, he's probably going to play professional football at some point. So, yeah, I agree. You might as well use him. I disagree with your Gabe Arnold take. I don't think they should use Gabe Arnold. I think they should save him for 1 more year. I do think that you should use Ben Keeter because he's going to go play in the NFL someday.
Yeah, I don't think it's a ridiculous position on Gabe. I just think this year is a year is an uncommon year, and why not have another scorer there? Why? You're dealing with a totally unprecedented gambling, suspensions that are ruining your team's chances, not title contention, but drove the basically a guaranteed trophy. They would for sure have the second best team by a long shot. So why not? You have the ability to overcome that, and I think you use someone like Gabe to help shore up that
coming
position.
Back next year?
What's that?
Is Assad coming back?
No, I don't think he can.
Okay, he's done.
He's done. But Nelson could be back.
And then where's Kennedy going to go, obviously?
I guess down to 57? I don't know.
Oof.
Caliendo.
That's going to be tough.
So Caliendo and Kennedy both certified at 57.
What? They're cheating. I mean, listen, the certifications are dumb, so I'm fine with them cheating on that.
I mean, Kennedy for sure. That doesn't surprise me at all. When I saw him in the fall.
Really?
Oh my gosh, he was so small when I saw him in the fall. I was like, is he? I was literally like,
he put some size on.
Not much. Braden Thompson, I thought dwarfed him.
Really?
I thought that's my opinion. I thought he looked a lot bigger.
Yeah, I thought he looked big and thick and strong, like a solid 74. Maybe not a huge 74, but no, fine. And he's obviously wrestling fine. So moving down 2 weight classes, that's 17 pounds, bro. That's kind of an insane amount of weight to cut.
Yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but and that's the thing, and you get a year of flexibility for next year.
Yeah.
Where that you're not going to have, because you have to wrestle Gabe Arnold next year, guaranteed.
Yes.
If you redshirt him this year, or it gives you flexibility with Angelo, you can redshirt him, or I don't know. I think it would make sense. You don't have to cut Kennedy down to 157. You can leave him at 74. I don't know. I think there's a lot of reasons it makes sense. Go get second. That's a real accomplishment. I think Iowa should pursue it to the best of their ability, and I think that involves Gabe.
Yes.
You know,
so I did not think it was an impressive performance. I didn't think he even tried to win the match, honestly.
That's what I was going to say. I thought you were going to yell at me.
And no, I'm not going to yell at you, because I honestly, the reason I've cooled on my perspective, even though he's obviously their best 84-pounder, the reason I've cooled on it is like, man, he's going to be in a lot of matches like that. Now, Dustin Plott is kind of the clear number 2, or he is the number 2.
Yeah.
I don't know how clear it is.
Yeah.
But,
it's a little
pretty clear.
But if he's going to wrestle, if he wrestles a Lenny Pinto, if he wrestles a Plott, other guys, I don't think Gabe wants to wrestle from behind. And I don't think that's his style. He's got to stay in front. If he gives up an early takedown, I think it's going to be really tough for him. And we saw there, he couldn't even get to the second level to generate something. And so for that reason, I think it could support him.
But at the end, he didn't even really shoot Christian in the last 20 seconds in the match.
That's what I'm saying. He couldn't get to that. He couldn't get to the point where he could get to the point of shooting, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I did not think that was not an encouraging performance, and I do understand. It made me feel like, all right, well, I would get it if they decide it. Then again, I still think he could make some noise in place and would be their best performer at 184. But I get it. And also, he has to want to do it too, right?
Yes.
And I don't know if that's the case.
You know what's crazy is if Carter Starocci's season was over, Penn State lost 20 points in our rankings.
Yeah.
And then if Iowa added 15, let's say 15 for Gabe if he took third, and this is also a stretch, 15 for Keeter if he took third, wow. Penn State would still be ahead of Iowa by 20 points in our rankings.
That's insane, because those are such stretches.
Yes, and Penn State pulled out Van Ness also.
Yeah. Yes.
it's nuts.
Yeah, totally wild. John Smith had a great press conference afterwards. He was disappointed and discouraged, but also candid and awesome and very John Smith. He was talking about how like Iowa had been bruised, and you could tell. He's like we hadn't, we have now. Like almost like kind of needed to take a lump, and they certainly did. It was unfortunate for them as it happened in front of an epic, awesome crowd that was ready to just pounce on Iowa at every step. But
Mm-hmm.
Iowa's had some really nice duel moments this year. Although they've had some down ones, particularly Michigan, I think was the nadir of their season. But
what do you think happened there? Just matchup not well, didn't wrestle.
Michigan's just a freaking awesome, sick, cool team.
It's just an absolute juggernaut.
An absolute juggernaut.
It will not be denied.
Actually, while we're on this topic, it is officially conference tournament season.
Oh, you can't take your shirt off on this show.
This is a 2022.
There you go. Put it right. Yep, you're nailed.
2022 Big Ten champion shirt. I don't know if do you guys remember who won the Big Ten championship in 2022?
I actually only remember NCAAs. It's so weird.
That's so crazy of you to say.
That was great.
Gotta zoom in. Oh, okay, it's gone.
Get out. I love the snip snap. Tyler, you're just nailing this. I just want to be the first to say how great you're doing.
Wow.
That was a crazy conference tournament because Michigan, what did they have to do? I'm sure Tyler will tell us all about it. Michigan had to win all these different scenarios, and Amin had to beat Brooks.
Yeah, it basically came down in the finals. Miles had to beat Brooks. If he lost, Penn State would have locked up the title, and then Miles won. But then Patrick Bucky also had to beat Jacob Warner for third.
Yes,
she did.
That was another thing. That was that was a great tournament. I remember the big storyline out of that tournament was everyone was forfeiting out. Everyone was freaking out. We had like one or two forfeits in the Big Ten finals.
Yeah, I remember that.
That wasn't great.
That was when Cassiope forfeited to Gable in the finals, right?
Yep. Ironman forfeited.
It was just a great tournament.
It was good.
I love that tournament.
That was fun. Lincoln's great. Okay. Any other further Iowa, Oklahoma State thoughts?
No, I have none.
Okay. Shout out to the Oklahoma State fans showing up. That was awesome.
Huge crowd.
Yep. Huge crowd. Okay. Let's talk. I guess we've kind of exhausted the Duck situation.
We didn't talk about Bastida putting it on Elam though.
Bastida beat Elam.
Oof! I don't talk about that one either.
He's been.
Hey, can he go with Kirkfleet?
Let's see him and Hendrickson in the Big 12 finals first.
I know.
Before we. Yep.
It's great because we get to see Younger just kind of eat his way up the food chain and pass all these tests, and then we'll see, like, he's beaten Schultz, he won CKLV, beat Davison. Now he's beaten Elam.
Why didn't he go up earlier? He's such a better heavyweight.
Skyler was good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he should have went up and got bigger and said, Skyler, get lost.
Yeah, beat it. I kind of also wonder if they knew he was going to be this great at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Also, I never watched him and thought, this guy's way too big for 197.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
That was the story. That's why, because we saw some of his performances tail off.
Really did.
Yeah, in March, and they said just cutting too much weight for too long.
Yep. It definitely
What's he weighing in at heavyweight?
I don't know, actually.
He's in the
probably
the 30s. Which someone pointed this out. I got a question about this with Greg because everyone talks about how big Greg is. He weighed like 242.
What?
At the tool, yeah.
For real?
He looks bigger.
I think it's like
on the creatine.
Creatine?
I don't know. He's like looks huge. He like anchor arms or something.
I think he's I think his length. He's just got long arms. He's physically imposing. He's tall, and he looks like he's more filled out than maybe he is. But he's also really lean, so he looks a little more intimidating. And also, heavyweights are just smaller. I think generally now,
for sure.
So he looks
big though.
Wait, hold on.
Holding.
I got a correction.
Okay.
Holding. I think you guys marked the winners down wrong on FRL pick'ems. The line was Woods 3.5, and Woods only won by 3. So Woods is the incorrect answer, and Tegan's the correct answer.
Oh.
So JD gets one more wrong, and we get one more right, Christian.
That is JD fixing the results.
Oh,
JD was the only one that got that one right.
I wish we could do like a spotlight effect. We could start interrogating him. I could start smoking a cigarette.
Yes. Where's the taser when we need it?
This is ridiculous.
Get the taser out. I don't know where that taser is.
They're getting close. Look at that's the face of a liar, folks. You can trust this man.
You make one thing green instead of red, and everybody freaks out.
Yeah. Tell it to the judge. Also, I'm already mad at JD because he's wearing fully intact shoes.
Sorry, sometimes I do.
What is that? He went and got new shoes.
There you go.
New shoe goofing. Ridiculous. You think you know a guy. Okay. All right, off the shoes.
Your producers are having fun using the cameras and stuff today.
Nikki's just showing off right now. I'm assuming it's Nikki. He's a big.
Probably.
Yeah, like he's just saying F words in my ear. Okay.
Hey, you know who else ducked?
Who?
That coward Dylan Palacio. I don't know how my man got his name on the bracket. My man got his name on the bracket. They didn't wrestle nobody.
I wonder if he's just doing the qualifier. Because, like, RBY was in there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have to weigh in to get your name on the bracket?
That's what I was wondering.
Like if you didn't weigh in.
RBY pulled his name early.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, wait. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
He was on the bracket and wrestled no matches.
All right, well, I'll say this. If he doesn't wrestle at the qualifier, Dylan Palacio has officially ducked you. Because we were going to do all expenses paid trip for Dylan to come to Austin, Texas, and face Ben Askren. And
I love it. Hey, how bad was Pan Am's though?
I mean,
it was
someone
awesome
was.
You love America.
Someone was texting me about it. I was like, he's like, dude, Spencer. I was like, I don't think this tournament's as tough as the Soldier Salute, guys. Like, it's
No, it's not.
It's not. It's literally not. So, I mean, we go and we stunt. Let's stunt at the qualifier at 57 and 65. Then I will give.
Yes.
Freestyle stunted. The women kind of got stunted on a little bit.
Adeline lost. That's crazy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Again.
Oh.
Yeah.
In men's freestyle, I think we won every match by tech fall or pin.
Yeah, we've done that before, I think, but that's insane.
Crazy.
It's kind of sad. I wish it would be great. I wish Cuba was good. They're not. They've fallen off considerably.
Yes.
Honestly, the only thing that's going to make it good is us exporting more talent to other nations.
Yep. Let's do it.
Ugh.
Let's have some fun, Christian.
I don't. Yeah. Anyways, I'm glad they won. Nikki freestyle. Nikki Handsome Tuesday qualified for Olympic trials by winning Pan Am's.
Mm-hmm.
So congrats to him. We'll see him at the trials now.
Speaking of,
that's actually why I'm here in California. I'm investigating Handsome Tuesday, trying to get no reason behind it.
Hey, we had a Handsome Tuesday question. Do you want to ask that? Let's get to it.
We had a Handsome Tuesday question. It says, what do you think the chances are of another Handsome Tuesday this week? And do you think Ben was out of line questioning JD's dedication to Handsome Tuesday when he's clearly the most handsome on the show? In parentheses, no offense, Tyler.
Okay, well, I'm actually offended.
JD handsome? What?
Yeah. Listen, I think we have JD's got that rugged handsome. Ben's caveman cute.
Caveman cute.
Tyler's Cali cool. I'm just kind of your classic handsome. If I could be so humble.
Handsome.
I think Handsome Tuesday's here to stay.
We're getting a slow push on Christian. Oh, never mind.
I think it's not bad.
You're like nerdy cute.
Yeah. What? Shut up. If I didn't wear glasses, I'd probably still look kind of nerdy. But
you look worse without your glasses. I'm gonna be so honest with you.
What? Worse?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Put it back on. No, I'm not. I'm not going. You know what? I might do the rest of the show without my glasses because it's not that important. Just
you look kind of weird.
I don't respond well to strict directives, and if you tell me to put it on, I'm not going to wear them even harder.
Okay, leave them off.
Crap. now I'm really in a pickle. I'm just going to do it when I don't feel like. All right.
Okay, do whatever you feel like.
All right. That's what I'm doing right now. But I think Handsome Tuesday's here to stay. Candidly,
I hope it comes back tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it will.
You'll have to let us know what.
There's a high probability, King, said it's going to be a Handsome Tuesday.
Tyler screamed so loud. I was across the desk looking at something with Bray. And Tyler just goes, oh my gosh! Handsome Tuesday. And so we all went to our phones and computers to watch it. It was great. All right.
Be nice. Say hello. It's almost time for Acapulco.
Well said, Nicholas. All right, and that was a question from James Dean's best man, Anthony Mancini. In this show, Tyler,
unbiased.
We give credit to the question asked.
Well, I thought that giving credit might reduce the compliment that JD was given a little bit. So
no, it be your own people, and if you're called,
that could have came from anybody.
Could have been anybody. It's just general sentiment. I put the glass.
Hey, let's talk about that Ridge call.
Yes,
my brothers. Listen, shout out to the pirate. Shout out to the pirate Arjun, who because if you don't have Pac-12. Like, I don't know, their crazy cable plan, you can't. It was hard to find this duel, or if you were watching Iowa Oklahoma State, like a good citizen, you missed this. And so I was like, I need to watch this match because it's huge. Kyle Parco beat #1 Ridge Lovett, who was undefeated this season. I need to see this match. And so Parco comes out, he gets a left side underhook, throws it by, nice takedown, and then we go to the third period, and it's 3-1. 3-1.
Yeah, it was 3-1.
Or was it 3-2?
Yes.
Well, he got an escape.
I think it's 3-2 because the stall made it 4-2.
Entering the third period, it was 3-1, but then Ridge got an escape, so it was 3-2.
3-2. Okay. Yes. So it's 3-2 Parco. And I can't not color this with my opinion, but Ridge, they lock up. It's a whistle start. Boom. Ridge ties up with him. Kyle does at one point 6 straight backward steps to the boundary. He circles back in. Ridge gets to his underhook. He circles him back out. He backs him out of bounds. And Ridge gets hit for pushing out, stalling. And now it's 4-2 Kyle Parco. And my opinion is this was a not good call. I do not think you hit Ridge Lovett for stalling. Ridge Lovett is trying to score. You could say he's maybe trying to gimmick whatever. He's trying to score, and Kyle Parco is not. Kyle Parco has a responsibility to stay on the mat. There's a reason they were at the edge to begin with, and what happens afterwards, I believe it's on Kyle Parco to not get backed out of bounds in an underhook. Ben, I'd like your thoughts.
Yeah, but I mean, the part that I don't like is how hard Ridge is trying to push him out. It feels as though if he gets this push out, he gets a point for sure. Now, calling it the other way is kind of dumb, in my opinion, but it's also like, guys, this is not a point. This is not freestyle. These are not push-out points. So, like, do some real wrestling. Try to get a takedown. And I actually felt like at that point in time, Parco was really, really trying to stay in very, very
Parco
tough.
was circling a little bit. Here's what I think actually the right call would have been. I think you go action there because Parco, you can sort of see, is sort of circling to his left a little bit. But here's what always bothers me is like the ignoring of everything that led up to that point.
Yes, that's fair.
There's a reason they're at the edge right now. Like Ridge would probably love to stand in the center of the mat and wrestle out of his underhook against Kyle Parco. That's what he wants to do. Because, I mean, he does want a stall point there. Kyle was warned, and he wants that stall point. I'm not denying that. But at the same time, I think you can go action. I think you can go Parco stalling. I just don't think you can call Ridge Lovett for stalling. Because stalling means you're not trying to score. That's what stalling means. Was Ridge?
Yes.
Tell me this. Was Ridge Lovett stalling? JD, because I know you agree with this call.
No, I do not.
Oh, yeah, you do.
No, I just wasn't as hard on it as you. I was more in Ben's camp where I'm like, he is obviously just trying to push him out of bounds. And in the rules, it says you cannot push or pull your opponent out of bounds. Now, it also says that you have the duty to like stay in bounds. You can't just walk off the mat. So it's kind of a catch-22 type of situation. But there was a bad call. You shouldn't call stalling there on Ridge. Maybe action. Although I don't like when action is called. It feels like normally they call the guy who goes out of bounds for stalling there. So I don't like when you go action when it's late in a match just because you don't want to put a point on the board. Or I just want more.
Yeah, I mean, I've shredded this rule since the moment it was announced because of scenarios like this. Mm-hmm. It's a dumb rule. Whoever came up with it, I get it. Actually, I don't. Horrible rule. Bad and totally inconsistent interpretation. cowardly to not just go step out and remove the ambiguity of the call. Stay in bounds. If you don't stay in bounds, you're penalized. That would be so much simpler than this nebulous situation we have where a guy can back out of bounds and somehow be rewarded with a point. Kyle Parco got a point for backing out of bounds. This happened live on national television.
I don't know if he backed out. I think that if you're Ridge, you're obviously really frustrated because that call never goes that way. Like all year long, guys have been pushing people out, and usually the other guy gets the stall call. The rule is technically in the rule book. Technically, Ridge could be called for stalling there, so it's not necessarily a wrong call. But if you're Ridge, it's like what the heck? Like this never happens, you know. So I see both sides. I don't want to be both sides.
We'll say if that's a heavyweight match, I bet they don't call pushing.
Well, I was just about to say the irony of ironies is that Colton Schultz does this so much to people. He gets to an underhook, he backs him straight out of bounds. They're probably trying to get back in, but he's so dominant in the position, he gets so many stall calls. And I don't think he shouldn't get them. But the idea that Ridge Lovett doesn't, and it's the Arizona State flip dynamic thing, I'm like, what the heck are we doing?
I think just like watching this position, the only difference is that Ridge's underhook, all of his weight is forward, and he's like it's not like he's standing up with the underhook and like trying to punch the underhook up.
Pump it louder.
Yeah, pump it louder. He's like really all of his weight is forward, pushing. He's not trying to jack it up at all.
No.
Do I like? If you're Ridge, it's like so frustrating.
Yeah, you're like, what the heck?
But yeah, he should just learn how to shoot. Also,
and I think if you're the fans too, you want that match to go to overtime. Like that would have been way more fun.
Now I will say, it doesn't necessarily go to overtime. I know Ridge then got a stall, or Parco got called for stalling shortly after that, which gave Ridge a point. But because of the stall point, Parco won. But if Parco knows he has to engage for that,
I'm saying if the stall went the other way,
seconds.
if that stall call went the other way, it would have gone to overtime.
Even the action call maybe sends that match into overtime.
Potentially.
Yeah, but that call aside, now ranking seeding conundrum at 149 because Henson beat Parco beat Ridge beat Henson. But Parco also has a loss to unrostered, I believe, Ty Whalen of Princeton, but not because they're a little workaround. So how do you rank this? How do you seed this? What's going to happen at conference? Now, of course, it's all immaterial because if Kyle Parco and these guys don't win their conferences, then, it'll reshuffle. But those guys will all be favorites to win their conferences. So how are they going to determine who's number one is notable.
Yes.
All right.
I still stalling aside. Parco got the takedown. Ridge didn't.
Yeah.
Parco, so he made Ridge, never gave Ridge an opportunity on top. Which is
wise. I thought, I wonder if you go back in time, does Ridge just take top and see what happens? But when you can't just get it done with a ride out, it's so much pressured for the turn.
Yes.
I kind of thought Ridge got the initial attack to a stalemateable position, and then I don't know if he relieved. Did you watch that, Ben?
I did not.
Well, awesome.
My bad.
I did not have a good gauge on this match. I made Ridge like a 3.5, 4.5 point favorite.
4.5.
Yeah, I really thought Ridge was he had been wrestling really well. And
I don't know. I mean, Kasak, he showed some holes there. I mean, that's a true freshman 141 pounder that pushed him to the brink.
Yeah.
I mean, he won. He got it done.
Hey, Christian.
Hey.
How have you not brought Figs by now?
Have I not brought up what?
Richie Figs.
Richie Figs, back from the dead.
Undertaker
back in the national title hunt.
Literally, he actually is. By proving he is viable. I mean, he beats Luke Stanish and he beats Caleb Smith this weekend. That's very promising.
Bro, he's gonna get like a 22 seed or something.
Yeah, it's going to be insane. But it doesn't matter. The seeds are really, I know we say it, the stupid wrestling cliches that the seeds don't matter, they really matter a lot. But in this one, they actually don't.
Not at 125.
They actually don't matter. I think he's still, he's not scoring a ton. I don't know who's going to win this weight, obviously, but I'm going to err on the side of someone that's got like consistent offense that fires. That's why I think I've been riding with Ramos since this. I forget when I made that video. Like it was like November, December.
That was a while ago.
A while ago, but I'm still riding with him, and he is still number one. But he just seems to have the most ways to score, even though he's certainly pregnable. I believe
he feels like a guy who also feeds off of the energy of a crowd, like a national tournament stage. Yeah. Like he really seems like he just loves it.
I hate the term gamer because I think it's just like stupid, but like he really two times last year. Everyone talks about the Spencer match, but he was dead to rights against Killian Cardinale, all but, and dead to rights against Trombley, all but, and he found ways to win. And that experience, I do think, is notable.
I've always liked Matt Ramos ever since I went to Southern Scuffle last year, and I was recording one of his early matches, and he picked a guy up and did a 900 and then set him back down.
That was a very cool. That was cool. It's a rare 900.
You really put on for the camera.
Matt Ramos and Tony Hawk are the only two people that have hit a 900.
It's true. The only ones.
So that's actually, I take it back. There was a Greco wrestler. I showed you this guy. That Greco guy in 2015.
That's his move.
It happened right in front of me. I was like, what is happening? Greco was actually really lit that tournament. It was really fun. But he spun him around. I think it might have been Haratunian, but don't hold me to it, guys. Greco people. But he spun the dude around in the air at least 4 times.
And with the helicopter.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, Richie Figs back from the dead. Jacob Camacho also back, not dead. And it looks like he's going to be their guy. He had that lull. Don't know if that was a weight thing or whatever, but he looked good against.
There's a 30-minute warning, by the way.
30-minute warning. We've been so warned. Camacho's back. It's just everyone who looks terrible right now that we thought would be good this year. Because now it feels like everyone is kind of doing good right now at 125.
Yeah.
You've been hard on Drake.
Huh?
You've been hard on Drake.
I'm hard on him because I know I've seen what he can do, and I know his skill set, and I've seen how he can win matches and like how he can win with pace, and you're not putting pressure if guys aren't almost getting scored on a lot, and if you're not attacking, and he's not attacking his best attack.
Nico Provo all the way down at number 20.
He's one.
Yeah,
he's one. He's
crazy.
He's not recovered.
Anthony Noto all the way down at 21.
Okay, those two have.
Oh my God.
Pretty shocking. Those were both guys that were ranked number 1 at one point this year, and they're
so
both
crazy.
20 and 21, which is pretty nuts.
Ludicrous.
Ventresca, he is literally dead because Cooper Flynn.
He's not literally dead.
Well, didn't he get injured or something?
No,
he's out for a year. Yeah. He's out with injury, which is actually not death, as I've been studying.
But he was another guy. He was preseason top 4 and then did not start off well before getting injured.
Oh, we haven't talked about, other than Camacho, Virginia Tech, NC State. Friday feels like a year ago.
Duel.
Great duel. Congrats to the Wolfpack. They got it done. It looked like, man, I'm trying to think. They started at 49. Early, it looked like Tech's going to do it because Henson beat Arrington. Scott Hippolito wound up being a decision for Scott. And then 65, definite swing match, and Brady for Tech won it. 74, Mackay wins handily. And then they get an upset from TJ Stewart over Dylan Fishback, which was huge. I was
surprised on that one.
And then
big time.
Yeah, I think TJ's dad has been hitting up literally everyone who picked against TJ in that match and sending them personalized tweets.
Party time,
yeah. And so TJ gets that win. You're like, wow, everything has gone pro Virginia Tech at that point. And then Trent does what he does, getting the Tech. And then a late win for NC State at heavyweight, Treffin over Mullen.
I was really sad that Trent Hidley did not punch himself in the face in his last duel ever as a college.
I don't want him to punch himself anymore.
When it's in victory, it's awesome.
But it just makes him want to do it more. When he does it in victory, he wants to do it in defeat is my worry.
I don't want to skip over Trent because I just really thought they had like a whole celebration for him. I thought just seeing what he means to NC State, I thought it was really cool. The send off they gave him at that duel, I thought it was awesome.
You know, as great as wrestlers as they've had at NC State, I feel like he's been more of a face of that program than anyone. Even though he hasn't won a title or multiple titles like Gwiz or his brother Hayden or Darian, it feels like he's just been the heart and soul of that team. And he's the beneficiary of extra years there, right? But, man, he's just really prides himself on entertainment and effort. And he's great. I'm excited to see what he can do at NCAAs. And on the freestyle scene, I mean, people forget what this guy did at the FRL.
He just beat Ringer.
Kinchadze. Crazy match. He beat someone good.
That's awesome.
The match that was like crazy match. So he's really good. And
plus, most importantly, he once again made Raising the Roof cool.
Yeah. Honestly, people wrote off Raising the Roof for years. People said it can't be done. Don't even try it.
Christian sold stock on it.
I sold it. I won't lie. Mm-hmm. I had it for a while, and I said it's not coming back. And he made it not only back, but he made Raising the Roof cool.
Yes.
But if anyone else tries it, it's rarely cool.
The NC State guys can do it.
They can do it.
Yeah. I wonder if the Raising the Roof will continue after he's gone. Is that just going to become an NC State thing?
What's something else they could ironically bring back? What's a move?
What if they all just busted out
The Worm?
The Worm. The Macarena?
The Macarena.
I think the Macarena
never left.
Macarena never left?
Not if you party with me.
What a line. That's true.
Bayside Boys remix only, though.
Oh, really?
Okay.
He's a traditionalist.
Never heard that.
Was it Los Del Rio? Was that the original artist?
I can't remember.
I don't know how you know all this stuff anyways, JD.
Then Jimmy Mullen and Owen Treffen. Yeah. I thought Jimmy Mullen was going to win that match.
Yeah. Seemed like it was possible. Lost it late. Mm-hmm. And then the pendulum swung, and then Tech couldn't get back a hold of it. Camacho beats Flynn. Close. I mean,
5-1.
5-1. Oh, wait. No, I'm thinking about Latona Arini, where Latona is so close on the reversal that would have given him the win, and he just couldn't get him down. What were your thoughts on that part, Ben?
Well, I was sad that I lost the pick'em, and I felt like you kind of punked me on it. And I, right when you said that, I'm like, yeah, he's kind of right. I should change it. But then I'm like, I don't want to be weak and change it just because Kristen said. I probably should have changed it because you were totally right.
Well, I mean, you were basically one sequence from being correct. He was right there to win that match.
No, because it was the line was Arini -2.5, so he would have had to win by 3 or more.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, people in the chat are talking about how Trent also had the hoagie celebration.
Yeah, he made sandwiches cool. And when a sandwich is the most basic, man, I get mad. I get mad thinking about that. Who's number one? When that ref tried to stop him from eating the sandwich and just control. It's like, would you relax? It's an exhibition match. Let him eat it. Let the kid eat a sandwich.
Let the kid.
What's wrong with men eating a sandwich?
What's wrong with sandwiches? Now you got a problem with sandwiches?
Mm-hmm. Do you see? We actually got a question from somebody if college basketball should take a page out of wrestling's book and take away team points for court storming. Hell no. Get out of here.
Could you imagine making a game-winning 3 and then they take away your point and you lose the game?
Terrible.
Court storming is fine. Listen, here's a reality check on court storming. There's only an issue because the loser teams do loser stuff, and Iowa fans are gonna absolutely rampage. Caitlin Clark initiated that contact.
She flopped.
100%. And the Duke dude was sad and tried to trip the guy. If you just make your way off, I'm not saying It's never happened. I'm saying I've never seen it where the losing team, if they just make their way off the court and get out of there, ever anything bad happens. But now they get in their feelings. They're salty.
I kind of root for chaos. Like if you're going to storm the court, you get you come close to a player. You might catch one.
Hey, you remember when LeGarrette Blount straight up knocked out a Boise State fan?
That's what I'm saying. Storm the court at your own risk.
Yeah, but that guy hit LeGarrette. That's when, all right, you kind of, he shouldn't have punched him in the face because you're LeGarrette Blount and you're just a monster. Ben is just checked out. I'm sorry, Ben. I know you don't even know any
I'm so sorry, Christian.
It's okay. I'm giving you a pass.
I don't know who LeGarrette is either. So.
I know.
And storming the court is when fans run on the court after a game.
That's cool. I did that once at Mizzou, and then we carried the goalpost to Harpo's.
Nice.
That was fun.
That is fun.
Yeah.
No, I am pro court storming. They shouldn't do anything about it. Get off the game. Students, you leave the players alone, the losers, and celebrate with the homies. But yeah. That's my thought. There have been 2 times where there's been court storming this year, and it's all like, do we need to how long before there's a change here? What's it gonna take? And it's like, well, it'll take Caitlin Clark not flopping, and it'll take the Duke guy not trying to trip someone.
I also think if you're Wake Forest, you got to know Duke's coming to town. We got to have a plan.
Yeah,
get some extra security to get these Duke players off the court.
There's 10,000 people. What you can't do it. What you gonna shoot them? You can't stop that many people if they're gonna do it, and you can't change the result. So you just need to accept that Stork comes.
But they had a bunch of tasers.
You can't tase that many people. There's no automatic tasers.
Or a moat. How about a moat? A moat.
Moat's an option. They could
gators, sharks.
Yeah.
Freaking laser beams.
Laser moat.
I like it.
Yeah, we need a laser moat.
It's got maybe this is too niche, but when Nathan Fielder put an alligator in front of that TV to keep people from buying it, what if they just surrounded the court with alligators?
That's bad because we're pro court storming on this podcast.
Yeah, I don't want that. Yeah. But although if there were gators and they still did it, they'd be like, man, that'd be incredible.
It's like a lot of time you can have like a calm gator that is fed so it won't eat anyone.
Calm gator.
Yeah.
I feel like most gators are calm. They're very safe. I feel like they're not.
Until
it's still enough of a deterrent. Sorry, what were you saying, Ben?
I said until they bite someone's leg off, they're calm until they eat somebody.
Well, crocodiles, those are to be a little more feared. Saltwater crocodiles.
I've wrestled alligators.
I'm learning so much about large lizards.
I know a lot about animals. I'm more than that about.
Do we have any more duels to talk about, or should we move on to questions?
Yeah, let's do it. Everything I wrote down, I think we talked about.
What is the biggest storyline heading into the postseason?
Carter.
I think it is too. I think
for right now.
I think it is. It's the biggest question, because it's history's on the line.
165.
And 165 is definitely big.
So much fun.
On the mat, it is 165 because Hamady versus Mitchell is still. I think that's a real match. I don't think it's a throw. I don't think it's a throwaway. Penn State fans may be overlooking that, but I think that's a crazy matchup. I think both guys are kind of lunatics, fearless wrestlers. Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah.
What will the best conference tournament
will
week
Mitchell
be?
Get the...
Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, will Mitchell get the 2 and then Caliendo will be 3, or will they go some other way?
That's a great question. I feel like
because Hamady has no losses except for the All-Star.
Yep, so that doesn't count.
Or no, he lost to David Carr.
Yeah, I wonder if that'll factor in.
Year.
I wonder if that'll factor in.
Yeah,
not for Big Ten seeding.
It shouldn't.
Well, if you're both undefeated, though, what other criteria is it going to be?
National ranking could be a criteria. I'm not sure. So, but yeah, that's huge because Caliendo. Because who's going to be the 4 in that conference?
Probably Caleb Fish, Cam Amin.
Oh man.
Yeah, probably not Cam. Dude, Cam's
rankings.
Cam has not beaten anyone relevant this year. He lost to Antrell. Antrell might be the 4 or 5. So
kind of good though. He's.
It's looking like, according to our rankings, Caleb Fish or Antrell Taylor.
Kozak released Big Ten seed predictions.
Oh.
So that would be relevant. But best conference weight?
I think as a whole, am more excited for Big 12s than I am for Big 10s, which is probably the first time forever that I could have said that because of 165 that we didn't get Car Keegan this past weekend and Bastida versus Hendrickson.
I'll also say a super competitive team race as well.
184 is really good in the Big 12. All that guys in plot, Feldkamp, Berge, Wolf, Clayton, Whiting.
Yeah,
like really deep.
Really deep.
According to Kozak's predictions, Caleb Fish will be the 4 seed at 165, Antrell Taylor, then Stoney Buell, who is 27th in the country, but will be the 6th seed at 165, according to Kozak's.
Who does he have 1, 2, and 3?
1, 2, 3 is Hamidi, Messenbrink, and Caliendo. But I think he wrote this before this weekend also. I don't know.
I don't think that would change.
It wouldn't
much.
affect it.
I don't know if Caliendo's win over Olenek would have any impact on anything, but
because he lost to both those guys.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, Big 12 is going to be fire this year for sure, and the team race dynamic. On top of all that, there is going to be a legitimate team race between. And I'd be curious to see who's favored to even win that conference. Iowa State, you got Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State having 10 legit guys is really going to help. Missouri, if they can get healthy, that'll be tough.
I want to get people in the chat chiming in on who they think, what weight they think will be the toughest, like the most fun weight at a conference tournament. What do you guys think?
Probably 165. For me, 165 Big 12s. Because
that has Keegan Carr, Peyton Hall also, and then the few I think they're scrappy.
And I just put more weight on the one big match versus 4 or 5 really good
depth of talent
matches. Yeah.
125 in Big Ten, I'm sure, is going to be really fun. There's so many. You can have a lot of outcomes there. I'm excited for that.
That one's going to be seated Tyler. That one's going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
And 125 at Nationals is going to be so much fun.
Every match is going to be can't miss, pretty much.
Yeah. Who knows? You could be watching the champion. What else we got, Tyler? I know there are a bunch of good questions.
Let me see. People want to know about Vito. If Vito's so banged up that he can barely wrestle this semester, why even wrestle at NCAAs? Why risk losses due to injury or re-aggravation before Olympic team trials?
That's what Ben was saying. Has been saying all season.
Been saying.
And then this tweet also says he's even publicly stated that freestyle is more important to him.
Well, yeah, that's not a secret or a surprise. Ben wants Vito to quit. I just am team not quit. I'm team. I'm sure it's just precautionary, and they're getting him healthy. I do think there is a real issue there, but I think he'll be back. But man, 33 is. It's kind of interesting because after what he did last year at NCAAs and Worlds, he was like, I was never fully going to go Vito next topic at 133 because Dayton is so viable.
It was close.
But, you're thinking about it. And now you have 33. That is winnable for Dayton. That is winnable for Ryan Crookham. It's winnable for Vito and probably some others. You have 74 now, which at least is a conversation. We're not going to skip the weight like we have all freaking year long. Now it's like, all right, you got a hobbled Starocci. That weight becomes interesting. So really this last little bit have made those weights really interesting. I do think Vito will be back for conferences. And I think he'll be ready to rock come NCAAs. It's my hope, at least.
What is the over-under on number of teams that will have 5 All-Americans?
I don't know.
Not
3.5.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. Without actually looking at the rankings and writing them down.
5 All-Americans is a lot.
It is a lot. Maybe 2.5. So obviously Penn State.
Iowa, probably Nebraska. It's gonna get tough. Probably Michigan. I'd say actually higher, like 3.5 or 4.5.
I would take over 3.5.
Yeah, it's gonna be 4 or 5.
Yeah.
NC State will be pushing.
NC State's right there. Virginia Tech could. I mean, Tech.
Oklahoma State could.
Absolutely, Oklahoma State. Iowa State could.
Mm-hmm.
Could Missouri?
Oh yeah,
It could.
All-American. Mahler's All-American before. Keegan, Peyton, Elam. That's 6, and then Whiteout's also.
Certain. Could All-American?
Certainly.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, your internet's really been struggling this last little bit.
Has it?
As your roommates have been waking
I've been
up
struggling
in your hotel. I know, buddy. I appreciate you coming on because I know you don't feel good. And
I shouldn't have listened to you. I shouldn't have let you guilt me into showing up.
Well,
I should have stayed
honestly,
sleeping.
I didn't know what I wanted more. I said it this morning. I was like, I don't know what would have been better. If Ben also missed work because he was sick, or you getting tough and being on the show. But the show's not the same without you, Ben. So I'm glad you're.
And you got to get in that Pacific Ocean. It's healing.
Yeah.
That's I was reading about it. You got all the minerals in the water. So I'll try to go take a soak, Tyler.
You have to drink it though.
Yeah, you do have to drink it.
No, you have to ingest it.
No.
That's what I did.
No, you know what it does to the frogs though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not in the ocean. That's in the rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the Wisconsin State tournament. That's what I was watching. 3 days straight of wrestling. I didn't get to watch too much else. And then we had like 2 other dudes get sick, but they were puking, flu, and I didn't puke at all, but I did get sick.
Man, I got so sick Friday. I realized it during Caleb's private lesson with Tyler when Tyler beat me in dodgeball, and I said, something's up here, because I literally murdered him 5 straight games last time we played. I said, something's up. And I felt terrible. Then I had like 103
He had
fever.
one hot day. He's acting like he always beats me. I usually beat you.
And
then that one day you had a hot streak, and then I would beat you.
That is the reality of the situation. Everything that happened before.
It just shows what you're made of, because some people show up when they have the flu, and some people aren't tough, and you're the latter.
No, Tyler seems way more athletic than you, Christian. I'm kind of even dodgeball.
I know he seems that way, and by classical measurements of athleticism, you may think that, but arm strength, me.
That's so crazy.
It is, but it's true. I can throw harder than you.
Your arm strength is stronger.
Absolutely.
My arm is stronger.
100-meter dash.
100-meter. I don't know.
100-meter dash.
100-meter dash. I would dust you.
Probably not by as much
There's
as you
video
think.
evidence of me beating JD in a hot dog eating 100-meter dash.
You got you.
I finished the hot dog faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your athleticism.
That is part of my athleticism. Now we're gonna say Joey Chestnut's not an athlete.
I'm saying it.
Get me off this show.
Listen,
No, he is an athlete. One of the best of all time.
He is.
Probably number 2 behind Seabiscuit.
Tyler's
Secretariat.
And the Lions from the Ghost in the Darkness. Those two are 2 of the greatest athletes of all time.
There was one more good question here that I thought. There was one funny question and one good question. The funny question,
yeah, 10
I'll
minutes.
just read it. Is Pat Smith using his camera time to tell a story about how he knew Joe Williams was going to be really good after Pat wrestled and tagged him the greatest humble brag in history?
That was so funny. Because
so
he's
funny.
like, yeah. Because like they're using this guy because they think he's gonna beat you. And he's like, I technical fouled him, but I knew he was gonna be great. That was incredible.
So funny, right?
That was a good. That was a.
We need to get the Smiths on the mic just as much as we can.
Absolutely. Yes. They're all.
Dude, he's so funny when he gets in front of the camera. It's awesome.
Yeah, John is
all right.
So candid.
You got to listen close here, Christian. Which of these rankings would have been the most surprising if someone told you this a year ago? Figs, 24. Stanich, 2. Downey, 9. Zerbin, 2. Nagao, 8. Rob, 13. Camacho, 20. Amin, 11. Foca, 11. Kennedy, 5 at 74.
Figs.
Yeah, Figs, right?
I feel like say Camacho.
Or Stanich at 2. Stanich at 2 is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he was at 1 at one point, I think, for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, maybe it's Stanich. I say I would just never expect Figs to drop that far. I mean,
yeah, but you can see them go. Is he hurt? Which way I think he wasn't healthy. Probably.
Yeah.
So there's a way to maybe get to that solution.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe I should say, I mean, I've literally been predicting the most chaotic weight since before this season started. So I guess technically none of my answers should involve a 25-pounder. Peyton Robb at 13 is kind of crazy, but it's not that crazy because that weight is really tough and really deep.
Well, plus, remember, we were talking, is he even going to be able to wrestle this year?
Yeah, if you told me that beginning of the year, I was like, well, he's got a flesh-eating situation he's still recovering from. There was way too many on there also. One of them involved Ryder Downey at 9.
I wouldn't have called that one, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of them I'd be Googling a little bit.
Vinny Zerban at 2.
Zerban at 2.
Might be the answer.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
He did beat Levi.
He did.
The question is a year ago. So a year ago would be after, or almost after we knew that Levi would be an NCAA finalist.
Well, Levi beat him at NCAAs also.
Did he really?
I'm almost positive. I think it was like a pigtail. I'll look it up. I think I'm right. I might be wrong.
Okay, I'll look it
I'm
up.
pretty sure they wrestled. Yeah, Vinny was like the 32 seed.
23 season. I don't think they wrestled at NCAAs.
Okay. I made that up. Edit that out.
More misinformation.
Edit that out, Tyler. I really thought they did. All right.
Should we talk about the Olympic trials, or not Olympic trial, the Olympic qualifier coming up?
Talk about the Olympic trials.
The Olympic trials.
Yes.
Yeah, qualifier. When's it start? JD's going.
It's going. We'll have the show Thursday, too, because freestyle's not till Friday. So they go Greco, then women, and then men's freestyle Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay. A day for each style.
Yes.
So Friday's men's freestyle.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so we got Zane Richards going at 57. His top competitions could be Roman Bravo Young. We've got, and whoever Cuba
But if
sends.
they end up on opposite sides, they don't wrestle.
Correct.
They do not
Because
wrestle.
the finals are not being contested.
Nope.
Which is annoying.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because.
Why?
Because top 2 qualify
So they're not
for the Olympics, so the job is done.
You're saying you're just predicting that the wrestlers will.
No.
They don't have it. They don't have
They're
it.
just not even doing it.
They don't do it.
That's crazy. The heck?
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that last time, did they?
I
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Well, I think last time it was just one.
I can't recall.
Oh, it's always final. It's always the finals, but now the last chance will be top 3.
Yeah, it's always finalists, but
They're just not going to wrestle the finals? Okay.
no.
Yeah, that's
Done after semis.
And then Nick Lee at 65, top competition.
Gomez,
I would suppose.
Yes.
Golly, Ned. Get him out of here. Don't even, you know what? If the lace is there, Nick,
Josh Kramer.
don't worry about it. Kramer is good at freestyle, guys.
Good.
I wish he was for a European nation. He's beaten some guys in his day. So yeah, that's coming up. Good.
Someone
good
on
programming.
Twitter, Matthew Stein, wanted to know if we think that USA Wrestling is making a mistake by not sending Spencer to qualify at 57.
he was not eligible.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I hate the whole vibes choice thing. It's like we have a process. Like he could have made the team. He could have made the team in years prior. He could have earned medals. Like that's what Vito and Dayton and Zane did to get the spot, and he didn't do that. So you don't get to. You don't get to do that. So, I think our process is fine. I kind of always, not always, but I have over the last, 8 years defended the process USA Wrestling has. I think it makes sense. I think this is how you should do it. I think the reason people are saying it, if Dayton and Vito or Gilman, so Dayton
and Vito were eligible too, as well as Gilman, and none of them.
None of them did. So if they went through, if you had seen Zane Richards beat those guys and then be the rep, I don't think we would have these complaints. But Zane didn't get that opportunity because why? They did not want to do it. So you don't get to punish Zane for that. In my mind, he got
beat Thomas.
Yeah,
he beat Thomas straight up. He beat Gilman 2 times straight up. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So
He earned it.
He earned it, and then it's not our last crack if he doesn't get it. He or whoever, it'll be our rep, ultimately, that'll go and send it in Europe for the last chance qualifier. We gotta get top 3. That's a bloodbath. You want to get it done in your conference, continent,
in your conference.
the Pan Am Conference.
On a separate note, going back to the Pan Am Championships, I think some people may not be aware that Nick Suriano is now qualified for Olympic team trials.
You said that.
I said it on this show. On this show.
This show?
Yes. This very show.
Well, you know I don't listen when you talk.
It's ridiculous. See? You guys are getting a little inside peek. Everyone's like, "Oh, Tyler's such a nice guy. He's so cool."
This is what he's trying to run the chat.
That's a little microcosm of the day-to-days. Oh, you said that? He doesn't. He just tunes me out.
Whatever.
Even though I have all this wisdom, all this knowledge, and he just turns his nose up. But yes, Nick is qualified. We should mention that. Because maybe some of the other listeners tune me out as well.
Yeah.
Don't say that. I talk probably the most or second most on this show. That would be bad.
Well.
Okay. All right. What else you got?
I don't see any more questions.
Oh yeah, that's what.
And Taylor also qualified.
Oh yeah,
which is notable because is he going back down to 65 for
I don't know.
Olympic trials?
I don't know.
And he didn't. Similarly to Nick, he qualified at a non-Olympic weight, so you don't have to make a severe cut.
I'm not. You're looking at me like I have insider information.
Well, I'm looking at you like you're boys with him, so maybe
I am.
Hook it up.
That is my boy, but I don't know. I could ask.
He's got to go down. Tell him he's got to go down.
He
was beating Andrew Alirez. He has to go down.
That's true. He was beating him, but I'm not going to tell Alec what he has to or has to not do, Christian, because he's my friend. Okay?
You just be like man to man, some advice. Starve yourself for several months. It'll be better for you.
I know that's a really tough weight for him to make.
Yeah, I know.
He's obviously really, really good at 70 kilos, but 65 really can suck the juice out of people. We've seen it happen to Zane too, with sometimes like
James Green.
Yeah, it's really an unfortunate circumstance, the weight classes for the Olympics.
Yeah, big bummer.
But
parting thoughts from Ben before we go. Will you be on the show Thursday?
I'm done. I'll be here Thursday. I'll have more energy, and I will be back up to form.
I thought you did a great job, Ben. Thank you for tuning in, calling in.
Ben loves tough podcasting.
He does. He's a certified tough guy.
Podcast.
He's a certified tough guy, and he's caveman cute, they say. I'm coining that.
All right, I'm out of here.
People in the chat were upset that you said cute on a wrestling podcast.
I don't care.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It was funny, and Ben liked it. It wasn't to you, podcast listeners. It was to the podcaster, the man in the arena.
Hey, we have a clip we need to play to sign off.
Okay.
This is for all the longtime listeners. We'll really appreciate.
I don't know what this
From this
is.
past weekend.
Okay.
Mickey, if we can pull up this clip as we sign off.
Oh no.
Oh
my God. Holy cow. All right, one more time from the top. So he gets it on that double, run your feet, and he goes through all the tables. That's so ridiculous. Was that against Rasmussen?
Yes.
Don't do that to my guy. He DM'd me after about something South Dakota State related, and then he's like, hey, I won't even say what I'm not going to bring up anymore because I said I wouldn't bring up anymore. But now he's officially a cool guy. Anyways, the North Dakota State dude is just running him 15 to 20 feet off the mat. That's hilarious.
Straight out of the Don Bradley playbook.
Yep, I love it. Those heavyweights, once they get going, they don't want to stop.
The only thing that could have made that better was just a table with space sitting behind it.
I know.
Receiving end.
With the audio.
Just him getting dump trucked. All right, well, thank you guys.
All right, here we go.
We got in the background. Yeah. We love tough podcasting. We love...
Tough podcasting?
Yeah.
You said top podcasting.
No.
Okay.
I said tough. Don't argue.
Well, I have...
See, he's argumentative.
Almost time for Acapulco. All
right. Well, JD, have fun.
Say hello.
Yeah, be nice. Say hello. Is Connor Petros going with you this time?
No, I'm solo.
Solo mission? Okay, that could be... I don't know. You saved Connor's life in multiple ways. That's how he became the Sweet Prince, was Acapulco. So thanks for that. We'll tell that story another day. Goodbye, Tyler. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back Thursday. He played the intro song. Nikki! For the love of the Lord, Nikki. All right, close enough. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to be back Thursday. Have a great Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. We'll leave you with this devastation of the South Dakota State bench. Thank you and goodbye.